Good afternoon. I'm Professor Carl Dayson. I'm the Dean of Research at the University of Salford. And I would like to warmly welcome you all to this University of Salford graduation ceremony. I'd also like to thank the University of Salford Graduation Band. I'm sure you'll all agree that their performance has really got the ceremony off to a great start. And may I ask you to join me in showing your appreciation for our amazing musicians. Graduands, your relationship with the university does not end when you graduate. In fact, it is only just beginning. You are now a member of a global alumni community numbering over 175,000 graduates. We'd love to keep in touch with you to ensure that you are kept up to date on the latest benefits and services available to you as member of our alumni network. Look out for the email from our alumni engagement team in the next couple of days, inviting you to download a free clip of yourself crossing the stage later. The team will also be in touch to provide you with information about our Graduate Life website that provides helpful information and tips about life as a graduate, from careers advice to travelling and managing your money. And you will be invited to join, from Salford, our exciting new alumni community, a mentoring hub instantly connecting you with our online community of Salford alumni and supporters living across the globe, giving you the opportunity to expand your professional network, get helpful career tips from leaders in your field, and even request for you to be one of their mentors. May I ask you if you'd also kindly ensure now to switch off your mobile phones. It's rather embarrassing to turn them off for the duration of the proceedings. The ceremony will now begin. For those who are able, can I please ask you to stand for the academic procession? Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to declare this ceremony open to present degrees and an honorary degree from the University of Salford.
Graduands and distinguished guests, please welcome Professor Alan Walker, Dean of the School of Arts and Media.
Chancellor, colleagues, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you to this special day in which you graduands, supported by friends and family, will receive your degrees. And we, as part of the wider academic community, join you in formally acknowledging your achievements and celebrating your success. I want to warm you up, or perhaps settle you down, by saying a few words about creativity and community. By the way, this went down an absolute storm this morning, so I expect a similar response this afternoon. Creativity first. Recently, with colleagues in China, we produced a series of drawings about rabbits, and afterwards I was minded of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Alice is led by the White Rabbit, the embodiment of her curiosity, into Wonderland, a place which forces her to adjust her viewpoint and challenge those of others around her. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. And if you go chasing rabbits and you know you're going to fall, tell them a hooker's smoking caterpillar has given you the call. And call Alice when she was just small. Being creative requires a different way of looking at the world, one in which received ideas are challenged, in which controlled failure is an integral part of the process, and in which self-reflection and criticism go hand in hand with rigorous application of method. Like Alice, this is a process which challenges normal or standard ways of seeing. Like her, you will have experienced the downside as well as the magic of creating something new. It is important to remember this, that your particular skills are increasingly in demand in Industry 4.0, and you have the opportunity to take leading roles in the positive transformation of our society. Go ask Alice. I think she'll know when logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the White Knight is talking backwards, and the Red Queen's off with her head. Remember what the Dormouse said. Grace Slick wrote these lyrics to her song White Rabbit in 1967, the year before she joined the San Francisco Bay band Jefferson Airplane. It was released in 1969, and despite concerns about possible censorship, it went on to become one of the defining songs of that period. In terms of meaning, she has always maintained it was about the positive power of education. This leads me to my second point about community. Please remember that you're lifelong members of the academic community here at Salford, and as you will have seen, we have more than a few Red Queens, White Knights, Mad Hatters, and at least one Dormouse. We look forward to hearing from you, to celebrate your future successes, to work with you in further academic endeavour, and also to support you where we can. Perhaps most importantly of all, we are here as a constant reminder of the life-enhancing benefits of chasing your creativity and intellectual curiosity. And so what was it the Dormouse said? Go ask Alice, I think she'll know, when logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the White Knight is talking backwards, and the Red Queen's off with her head. Remember what the Dormouse said. Feed your head, feed your head. It's now my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer for this ceremony, Chancellor Professor Jackie Kay.
Thank you very much, Professor Alan Walker. Distinguished guests and graduates of 2019, as Chancellor of the University of Salford, I'm delighted to welcome you all to today's graduation ceremony, celebrating the awards that you have achieved We're here today to congratulate each and every one of you, our next generation of graduates, to wish you well and to tell you how very proud we are of you as we embark with you on your next chapter of your life. Today marks the accumulation of many years of hard work for you, recognising your success is rightly one of the university's highlights. May I also extend a very warm welcome to your family and friends and supporters. Hello, family. Hello, friends. Not as many friends here as family, clearly. I'm also very delighted to welcome Lucy Meacock, who joins us today as she receives an honorary degree. Welcome, Lucy. I often think that graduation days are kind of double days. They're bittersweet days. We're excited to be graduating. Our families and friends are very, very proud of us, and we're very, very high and happy about that. But there's also a tinge of sadness because we've completed one chapter and we're uncertain what the next one will do. It's a kind of a double day for us. Today is a double day for Lucy Meacock in a completely different way because she just got her certificate for completing her triathlon. You weren't expecting me to say that, were you? I just thought I'd throw in a curveball. Lucy is the longest-serving female newscaster in the UK. She's presented Granada Reports for 30 years and has also presented the main national and international ITV news since 2007. It's in recognition of her outstanding career achievements that Lucy receives her award today. I hope everyone here today will take away some special memories of the day. I will do my very, very utmost to make it as memorable as possible for each and every one of you as you come across the stage with your different outfits on, wearing your very different shoes, with your different handshakes. It's quite a good way, a graduation ceremony, to kind of watch how fashions are changing, see how many different men are in checked or tartan type suits. I do like it when a man turns up in a kilt. It's enough to turn the head of an honest lesbian. Perhaps, like many of you, I was the first in my family to go to university. I was from an ordinary working class family who were over the moon to support me through my university years. But if you told me that one day I would be stood here as Chancellor of the University of Salford and as the Macker, the national poet of Scotland, I would have told you that you were having a laugh. I was adopted, and when I was made Macker 3 years ago, my mum said to me, "Who would have ever thought that wee baby we brought home in a basket would one day grow up to be Macker?" Which kind of made me laugh and paradoxically reminded me of a 70s cartoon. You know, from a little baby with a Macker on her head. In the 70s cartoon, they've got a little a midwife carrying a baby, and the little caption reads, "It's a lesbian." Travelling around Scotland, people keep stopping to ask me if I'm the Macker, which is quite entertaining in itself. On the ferry the other day from Benbecula to Harris, the man helping me with my luggage said to me, "Am I right in thinking that you're our Macker?" I said, "Aye. I'm your Macker." Made me feel like I should have some sort of special powers or something. My birth mother came from the Highlands in Scotland, and my birth father came from Nigeria. And I always felt very special being adopted. My mum used to say to me, "We picked you, other people had to take what they got." And I kind of, I took that to heart. And it's interesting because this year I wrote a book about my life called Red Dust Road, and this year it's coming to home in Manchester, which is quite funny because my mum keeps saying, "Who's going to be playing me?" And I'm to be played by Sasha Frost, who was in Star Wars, so I'm getting an upgrade. But there's so many ways of feeling special, and being granted a degree, it doesn't get much more special than that. So I'd like to wish you all my congratulations. It's one of these shimmering, luminous moments in your life that you'll forever treasure. As the African-American writer Zora Neale Hurston said, the present was an egg laid by the past that had the future inside its shell. Today is one of those days. In these troubled and uncertain times, in this politically strange and surreal time, having faith and hope in a future seems ever more important, and having a voice that is different from the political voice is ever more important. People need our artistic voices now more than ever. Our lives are complex and complicated. Writers and artists need self-belief just as much as they need self-doubt. It's a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde kind of a job, you know, being a writer or an artist, or having any kind of leaning towards the arts. You are prone to attacks in self-confidence, but that's good because you need the nerves. My dad used to speak at Communist Party meetings, factory gate meetings, and I remember saying to him when I was a wee girl, "Do you ever get nervous, Dad?" And he went, "Aye, of course. If I didn't get nervous, I wouldn't respect the workers." So I think of getting nervous as a way of respecting the workers, but as also respecting the art. As Audre Lorde observed, only by learning to live in harmony with your contradictions can you keep it all afloat. You've all demonstrated your abilities, your skills and your drive by arriving here today to get your awards. We're proud of you, as you should be proud of yourself. I also hope that you'll feel proud of us as your university too. Across the university, there's been many areas of world-leading research, innovation and teaching. This year we were awarded a grant from the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council to lead a consortium of university partners to set up a centre for doctoral training in prosthetics and orthotics. This is the first time we've secured funding for a centre for doctoral training, and this success is testament to the growing status of our best researchers, our reputation. You, our students and alumni, have also been doing us proud over the past 12 months. 25 of our fashion students showcased their collection in New York Fashion Week. And 2 of our law students represented the UK at the Commonwealth Legal Association Moot in Zambia, and 14 of our graduates and honorary graduates were named in the Queen's Honours List. These are just a few of the examples of the amazing things that you've achieved. The University of Salford is now the fastest growing university in the North West and the 5th fastest in the whole of the country, and more students than ever are applying to be with us. As you can see from the amount of people packed in here today, 497 pairs of hands to shake in just a moment. Up for the job, looking forward to it. It's an exciting time to be part of the university community, and today is all about you from the School of Arts and Media who are graduating this year and celebrating your journey with us. But it's also about the people here who've helped you on that journey, who've helped to make you become the person that you are today here about to get your degree. Our staff alongside me here today on the stage have helped you recognise and reach your potential, and your supporters, families and friends have all hopefully massively helped you too. So I'd like to think that this support deserves recognition. And I'd like to ask all the graduands to stand and give their family, friends and their teachers and staff a massive round of applause. Quite liking this. You just don't have to say anything. Feels quite camp as well, you know. This part of your Salford journey will end today, but as Alan Walker rightly said, we will welcome you back with open Salford arms. Sounds like the name of a pub. This part ends, as I say today, but a new one begins, and you'll be joining 175,000 students, graduates from around the world. Keep in touch, a lot of them do, and we love to hear news of you and of what you're doing. Arundhati Roy, the great writer and thinker, said, "The only dream worth having is to dream that you will live while you're alive and die only when you're dead. To love, to be loved, to never forget your own insignificance, to never get used to the unspeakable violence and vulgaric disparity of the life around you, to seek joy in the saddest places, to pursue beauty to its lair, to never simplify what is complicated or complicate what is simple, to respect strength, never power, above all to watch, to try to understand, to never look away, and to never ever forget." It's Arundhati Roy. Let your empathy and your talent, your social sense and your drive for excellence, your love of contradictions, your complexity, your creative flair, and your instinct, your ability to collaborate, to speak out and to listen, take you far. Let the whole world welcome its new stars. Thank you. Be proud of what you've achieved. Be bold in your aspirations. Dare to be different. Dare to be yourself. The future is yours to make. Look after your talent like you would a plant. Water it. Be good to yourself and listen to the many voices of the other people around you. I'd like to finish with reading a sonnet that I wrote especially for you people graduating today. Dear graduate, today is the day you switch from graduand to graduate. A couple of hours will have conferred your estate a name that's been 3 years more in the making, and most especially if you started late, how the years they seem to hover, rush, hesitate. Yet here you are, nearly graduates. Congrats. Well done. About to cross over to ample hours, fertile land, to stride the borders, corridors, to the shy unknown, and grasp the future with 2 bold hands. Today's minutes will be remembered, intimately known, where the future's clock is not yet set to run, how the mirrors will turn into windows open to the sun, or what shape days might offer close at hand. Let them proffer luck and chance, dear graduands. Thank you very much.
I now invite Lucy Meacock to be presented for the degree of Doctor of Letters Honoris Causa.
Chancellor, Deputy Lieutenant, graduands and guests. Lucy Meacock is a name that everyone in the North West knows. They may see her on screens, they may follow her on Twitter or Instagram. Lucy consistently champions the North West communities, the underdogs, and those that need journalism's support and rigour. She knows instinctively that stories need strong, authentic and impassioned voices to get them out into the media. Last year, Lucy celebrated her 30th anniversary of presenting ITV's Granada Reports, the North West's flagship ITV news programme, a great achievement on so many levels. Winning 2 BAFTAs with ITV's Granada Reports team, as well as many Royal Television Society awards, it is a great accolade for regional news and highlights the strength of Lucy's work as both journalist and presenter. Lucy the journalist is open, ambitious, considered, accurate, robust, honest and resilient. But what about the person behind the presenter and the investigative journalist? Growing up in Chester from the age of 6, Lucy has made the North West her home for the last 30 years after working as an investigative journalist and reporter in Wales, the North East and London. All of these experiences have certainly shaped her life and enabled her to be the person she is today. Aged 8, Lucy wrote her first newspaper on a second-hand typewriter, and by the time she was 14, her determination to fight for the underdog had begun to influence what she wanted to become: a campaigner, a supporter, and a storyteller, a journalist. She was extremely close to her father, a scientist and an academic. He had a huge influence on her, teaching her to continually consider both sides and to never take anything at face value. She has kept his advice close at heart throughout her career. Lucy's parents both died when she was only in her 20s. This shaped her dramatically. She talks about wanting someone to feel proud of her, as only your parents can. And this person in the end was herself. She has been her biggest critic, and yet she openly acknowledges her strengths and her determination to be an excellent journalist. And by this, she means being a journalist who fights for justice, campaigning and giving people from all backgrounds a voice and a platform from which to tell their stories, stories that perhaps otherwise would not be heard. Lucy has the people and the communities of the North West at heart, and at the heart of everything she does. And her ambition is to discover the truth, and this is palpable. Lucy has empathy, and like so many of the world's best journalists, she never gives up. Never taking things at face value, she has the great skill of being able to listen, a skill that she believes has enabled her to gain the trust of so many people over the years. And she's also never afraid to ask the questions that others are wanting to ask. Lucy has played a big part in keeping so many significant North West human stories alive, from the Hillsborough disaster and the cockle pickers of Morecambe Bay to the Manchester bomb in 2017. Lucy has always been determined that the people who have suffered are never forgotten. Without her dogged determination, this might not have been so. In 1984, whilst working in the North East as a reporter for Tyne Tees News, she covers the miners' strike, and it was here that her father's advice of always considering both sides kept her on track. The miners' strike was the biggest story of the decade, and working so closely with all the communities involved, it had a massive impact on Lucy, both as a journalist and as a person. She has never been afraid to challenge the politicians in a way that can derail them just when they think they are only taking part in a small regional news type of interview. Once, having lulled David Cameron into a false sense of security, she challenged him on air when he was visiting the region, asking, or more accurately stating, "It seems that you only visit the north when there is a general election." When Lucy began presenting Granada's ITV's Up Front with Tony Wilson, she admits that she was slightly nervous of the Anthony H. Wilson figure. But when he signed off to the audience on the very first live pilot show with, "So that's it from me and the lady, good night," as soon as they were off air, she responded, "Do not ever do that again." Aghast and puzzled, Tony asked what she meant, and she replied, A, never call me a lady again, and B, if I want to say good night, I will say good night. Do not say it for me. From there on in, they went on to have a fantastic working relationship, and she cites Tony Wilson as being the only other person she has met with an intellect equal to that of her father. Lucy is extremely proud of the way Granada ITV covered Hillsborough and has huge respect for the work that Jimmy McGovern and Katie Jones produced. When others had perhaps lost the impetus to keep running with the story, Lucy did not. She kept beating the drum. On the day of the Hillsborough Independent Panel ruling, ITV's Granada Reports programme came live from Liverpool St George's Hall. This was the day that the panel would be announcing that many lives could have been saved if the Hillsborough disaster had been handled differently. Incredibly, some might say, Trevor Hicks, the father of the two young girls who lost their lives at Hillsborough, gave his extended interview that day to Lucy, despite all the world's press being there. Why? because it was Lucy who had continually persevered to keep this story in the news and in the people's minds, and Trevor knew this. Lucy believes that the spirit of Granadaland is the spirit of the Northwest and its people, but it is also her spirit and her energy that enables these stories to be heard. And it is for this reason that we are so pleased to welcome Lucy here today, championing new talent and supporting the next generation of journalists, producers and filmmakers. Lucy is always keen to emphasise that it is on the one hand the most demanding and tough job you could ever choose to do, whilst on the other hand the very best career you could ever hope to have. Lucy, the person, is open, ambitious, considered, accurate, robust, honest and resilient. Chancellor, I present for the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, Lucy Meacock.
This university, I now pronounce you Doctor of Letters honoris causa. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. I'm going to give this to you now. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to smile at you. Well done. Well done.
Heavens, not sure how to follow that. Well, first of all, wow, how smart do you all look? I mean, really smart. You got dressed up for the day, you're all incredibly bright, you've worked so hard for today, so I've got to start by congratulating all of you. You've got the world at your feet now, and you can do so much with those degrees. You can change your world, you can change your bit of the world. Now all you've got to do is go out and do that. So first of all, congratulations. Well done on all of the hard work that you've put in. Well done to everyone at Salford University for all of the hard work that they've put into those degrees as well. The tradition today, I think, is that I try to pass on some advice to you. I was going to tell some jokes, but I thought the outfit was probably amusing enough. I won't be wearing it on Granada Reports. I'd like to start really by saying that although you've had a long, hard slog to get to this point probably, the learning doesn't stop today. It goes on every day. And I can tell you in 30 years of doing the job that I do, I have learnt something new every day. Because no 2 days are ever the same, no 2 stories are ever the same, no 2 people are ever the same. And that means that you're continually learning all the time. If you think about it, when I started out, I hate to admit this, but there were no mobile phones, there was no internet, no social media. How the heck did we survive without that? And that's obviously a massive source for stories now. But you think how much we've had to learn, how much our lives have changed in that time, and you think how much it's going to change for you in the next 30 years, and how much you're going to have to keep up with and learn. So the learning has to go on all the time. Now, my lovely dad, who got a mention before, who was a very bright man, used to say to me that you learn more by listening than by talking. I think he told me that because I used to talk quite a lot. And sometimes I think it is learning to listen that's the hardest lesson of all. Listening to your parents or your supporters today when they're trying to, warn you about danger or heartbreak or disappointment. Maybe when they're trying to tell you stories, I think there are some grandparents here as well, when they're trying to tell you stories about when they were young. They'll probably do that today. And I tell you to listen to those stories, because one day, if you don't, you will really regret it. Everyone has a really good story to tell. And whenever anyone comes into Granada Reports, if we don't get a good interview or a good story out of them, the only person who's failed is me, because they've got that story. If I don't find it, then that's my failing, not theirs. when you start work as well, maybe listen to some of your colleagues. I've got some of my colleagues with me today who I have enormous respect for. And they're probably thinking, yeah, listening. She didn't do much of that. She does a lot of talking. But actually, I do listen to them as well. And they have great advice and they have great skills. And you have to listen to people with views that oppose your own. You can't just listen to people who agree with you all the time. Because that's how we learn. It's how we learn to negotiate and compromise and move forward together. And as you referred to, in the political climate that we're in at the moment, we really need to work at that. Now, I know you've probably got great dreams here, quite rightly. And the other bit of advice I'd give you is don't let anyone stand in the way of those dreams. Sometimes it isn't easy, even when you've been in the business for a long time. Like when one of my bosses said, "You won't want to be on television when you're 40. What woman in her right mind would want to be on television over the age of 40? It wasn't a good day at the office. But I came back in the next day more determined than ever to hang on to the job that I love. And I'm still working for ITV and he isn't. So many of you, of course, are planning careers in television and radio and various different parts of the media. And I would say try to make television that's worth watching. Unpredictable, adventurous. The more unpredictable, the better. I think what I've always loved about Granada Reports is that it's a news programme with a heart. And it's made by people who have good hearts. And basically that means that when we see a victim of injustice, and it is a team, it's not just me, when we see a victim of injustice, we naturally want to help them. When we see a story that we think might make the Northwest smile, we want to tell it. And if we think the Northwest is missing out on something, well, we want to campaign and fight for it. Just an example, really, of the variety in a week, I can tell you that this week, on Tuesday night, we had a 39% share of the audience, which, given how many outlets there are now for various different news programmes, is a pretty good achievement by a regional news programme, 39% of the available audience. And then last night we took the brave decision to do the programme almost all about mental health and suicide. It was a really hard watch. Ricky Hatton spoke about feeling suicidal, how he dealt with that, how he got through that. It was a really tough watch. So it isn't all just about getting people to watch what you do, but there are some stories that you have to tell. You have a responsibility to tell those stories. And last night, until really late last night, there was a lot of social media discussion. And I saw people on Twitter and on Facebook hook up with each other, someone perhaps saying that they were feeling really down, and someone else saying, I used to feel like that, and this is how I dealt with it. And I feel that that was a good sense of achievement, and I felt that we'd really done something worthwhile yesterday. I don't know what the audience figures for that will be. They probably will not be as high as they were the previous night, but it was a really important programme to do. Our programme's always about people, about the courageous, inspirational, gifted and funny people who live in the Northwest, and some of the bad ones as well that we have to see brought to justice. So that, I think, is why I'm really proud of it. I hope you don't mind if I take this opportunity to say a few thank yous, because there are some really important people to me here today. So I'd like to say thanks to Fiona, Linda and Val, who are great buddies of mine. I couldn't get through my job without really good support from the people I think of as family, because they are like family to me. So I can't tell you how much your support means to me. I'm also pleased that one person in particular is here today. I think of him as a great friend, and he's a great co-presenter, the best that you could ever wish for. I think we make a pretty good team at Granada Reports, and everywhere I go, people ask me, is he as lovely as he seems? So before you ask me, yes, Tony Morris is as lovely as he seems. And it was a very good day for me the day that Tony Morris walked into Granada Reports. So thank you for being so much fun to work with. He's also a very modest man and will hate me for doing that. I'd also like to thank my boss, Lucy West, because she keeps us all under control and she does all the tough stuff at the top, which means that we can get on with doing the jobs that we love. So thanks for that, Lucy. Thanks too to one of our most senior producers. These are names to listen out for because any job applications or emails sent, they won't thank me for that probably. But they're really good and they will help if they can. One of our most senior producers is here today. A rare day off for him, one of the absolute best in the business, Andrew Rigby, not only because he's a top journalist who I admire enormously, but because he makes us laugh every day too. And finally, good message for you here. Teresa McMahon is with me today. Only 3 years ago, she graduated from Salford University. She is without doubt one of the keenest and most talented journalists in our newsroom, and she was sitting where you're sitting today. Lots of other very hard-working people on the team as well. In fact, they're all there doing tonight's programme while we're out having fun. I also want to share some words of wisdom from another great friend who's with me today, Carolyn Hughes, who runs a very successful PR company in Liverpool. When people talk to her about how lucky she is, she says, yeah, funny that. The harder I work, the luckier I get. That's worth remembering as well. It is absolutely true. You have to make some of your own luck in life. But if you get some luck, I think then you have a bit of a duty to pass some of it on. As I see it, you've all been lucky enough to study in the best and most creative part of the country. I hope you feel a sense of belonging here, that sense of belonging that I have to the Northwest. Now that's meant that I've always felt a duty to put something back into this region. I do hope that you will do the same, that you'll fly the flag, tell people what an exciting place this is. I'm sure many of you will go on to work in London, other parts of the UK, other parts of the world. But don't forget the time that you've had here, what you've learnt here, and one day come back to use your talents well. Or if you choose to stay, and I hope that many of you will, after all, we are at Media City, so there's an awful lot going on here. Stay here and be creative so that you can create the jobs that we really need here. So just to recap, learn something new every day if you can, listen more, try to put something back, and try to do something that you're proud of. I am so proud of Granada Reports. It's been an enormous privilege for me to serve the people of the Northwest. I've interviewed many thousands of people over those years, a rich diversity of characters with an astonishing range of stories to tell. I feel very privileged to have served the Northwest, and I hope people will look back one day and they'll think that I served them well. It has been an honour, and for today's honour, Salford University, I thank you.
We will now commence the presentation of the Postgraduate Awards from the School of Arts and Media, and each student will be presented individually for their award. I would like to invite Professor Alan Walker, Dean of the School of Arts and Media, to present the PhD Awards.
Chancellor, on behalf of the School of Arts and Media, I present for the award of Doctor of Philosophy. News as brands, branding television news channels in the Arab world, a case study of Al Jazeera, Al Akbariya and Nile television news channels, Sophia Ibrahim Al Akbar Karim. the impact of Saudi systemic factors on investigative journalism, Ali Mohammed Almania. Risk management in microfinance, identities, perceptions, behaviours and interests of microfinance stakeholders in Plateau State, Nigeria. Victoria Bowen Danan. Exploration of unorthodox tunings and muscle memory practice for the electric guitar, Lee Anthony Jones. Symbiotic synergies, adaptive framework for polydisciplinary collaboration in performance practice, Manoli Moriarty. Portfolio of compositions, Daniel Price.
We will continue with the presentation of the postgraduate awards from the School of Arts and Media, and each student will present it individually for their award. I would like to invite Nigel Howe, Associate Dean Strategy and Operations of the School of Arts and Media, to present the awards.
Chancellor, on behalf of the School of Arts and Media, I present for the award of Master of Philosophy, Eleanor T. For the award Master of Arts, Dance, Performance and Professional Practices, Rebecca Callow. Esme Halliday. Emma Hopley. Lucy Jones. Emma Lane. Matilda Maeve McGuinness. Francesca Perazzola. Hayley Walker. Jessica Megan Ward. And Hannah Woodliff. Present for the award Master of Arts, Intelligence and Security Studies, Alessandro Meloni. For the award Master of Arts, Interactive Music and Advanced Studio Production, Lee Aston. Thomas Jack Sherwood. Hugh Shepherd. present for the award Master of Arts Media Production, Post-Production for TV, Anne-Marie Grayston. For the award Master of Arts Media Production, TV Documentary Production, Grace Eliza Phillip. For the award Master of Arts Media Production, TV Production, Dominic Hastings. For the award Master of Arts Media Production, TV Production, Dominic Hastings. My apologies. For the award Master of Arts Music Composition, Darren Gibson. For the award Master of Arts Music Performance, Ryan Coates. Adam Finch. Joel Hayward. Jamal Lewis Service. Edward Neal. Joseph Nixon. Benjamin Pugh. And Julie Valentine. For the award Master of Arts Television and Radio Scriptwriting, Dylan Cochran. Scott John Cunningham. Joshua Garvey. Luke Christopher John Graves. Paul John Harker. Nicole Quamby. Chelsea Thompson. Ben Turton. Mary T. Warner. For the award Master of Arts Terrorism and Security, Olusola Adeolo Osubiojo. Nick Croft. Joshua Deadman. Ian Fear. Christopher Anthony Hargreaves. And Tim Muir.
We will now present the undergraduate awards from the School of Arts and Media. Each student will be presented individually for their award. I would like to invite Paul Broster, Director of Journalism, Politics and Contemporary History on the School of Arts and Media, to present the awards.
Chancellor, on behalf of the School of Arts and Media, I present for the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Animation, Mate Alistari. Holly Charnock. Kar Hung Chu. Christopher David John Connell. Antonia Lucy Kathleen Cunningham. Alice Gain. Rowena Headley. Laura Hewitt. TZ Iliev. Jeffrey Imariagbi. James Andrew Lawson. Joshua James Macy. Chloe Patterson. Leah Kizzy Pearson. Archie Smith. Dale Smith. Ling Weng. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Comedy Writing and Performance, Sean Alcock. Kate Carter. Luis Costello. Jacob Samuel Doran. George Henry Edward Ellis. Emma Hislop. Harry Oliver McLafferty. Harry Matthew Thomas. Callum James Wallbank. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Contemporary History and Politics, Patrick Rames Sidney Barker. Timney Conti. Milena Harlot Cornillo Yanez. Brian Hopkinson. Adam Pollitt. Yaza Osban Suleiman. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Contemporary Military and International History, Kyle Terence Abbas. Ryan Boycott. Andrew Bulpit. Joshua Clark. George Diggins. Lewis Gibson. Nathan Hughes. Finlay Martin Lee Horton. Rory Locke. John McGinty. John Richard Ewing Newhouse. Robert Parkington. Ryan Pilkington. Amy Rice. Stephen Taylor. Neil Thomas Whitaker. Bachelor of Arts with Honours Dance, Emily Barber. Elizabeth Davidson. Thomas Gibbs. Carolina Blanca Kolsaka. Emily Charlotte Jones. Neve McComb. Sophie Ruffley. Kelly Stevens. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, International Politics and Security, Rhys Elliott Brenton. Dominic Hill. Ross McNichol. Reagan Moss. Kieran Stockton. Matt George Sutton. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, International Relations and Politics, Ali Hassan Aboud. Antonius Cassie. Stuart Collier Daynith. Owen Cundall. Lydia Dabo. Margarita Flevaraki. Eleni Gomez de Campos. Suleiman Haji. Anna Kormosh. Saeed Mohammed Mia. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Journalism and English, Louise Boardman. Jack Copeland. Grace Catherine Creaner. Connor Andrew Ford Edmonds. Kaylee Furphy. Marty John Hill. Hannah Latham, sorry, that was Hannah Latham. Thank you. Glenda Muzinguzi. Kirsty Lee Poynton. Elliot Timothy Meadowcroft Ridge. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Journalism Broadcast, Ansa Ahmad. Wardashan El Anan. Eleanor Aspinwall. Inez Baruch Farik. Tiffany Beckett. Deborah Celeste Bikumu. Maria Cassidy. Rory Cohen. Roisin Crew. Amelia Rose Cromwell-Home. Emma Davidson. Joseph Doherty. Whitney Galloway. Delsa Paloma Gomez. Cameron Gordon. Chloe Hancock. Bethany Hemmings. Charlotte Page Hitchens. Neve Hunter. Victoria James Callu. Joshua Thomas Kelly. Matthew Thomas Lansley. Liv Lofthouse. Thomas Marr. Grace Maley. Priya Matharu. Danielle McHugh. Jack Andrew Merriman. Peen Moulenstein. Lauren Elizabeth Millward. Hira Nasir. Grace O'Hare. Luke Pearson. Anta Pilling. Ewan Quayle. Verona Rafferty. Jack Roberts. Josh Smythe. Matthew Taylor. Cameron Mark Waters. Jessica Hope Williams. Matthew Wood. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Journalism Multimedia. Shafia Begum. Alice Bird. Amy Lauren Buchanan. Daniel Burns. Andrea Morella Canica. Hannah Sarah Clayton. Sophie Clinton. Elizabeth Mary Collinson. Thomas Edward Court. Sophie Doherty. Katarzyna Dzimadowicz. Lucy Fisher. Melissa Garlick. Daniel George. Isaac Hannard. Louis Hughes. Caitlin Elizabeth Erica Jones. Daniel Marland. Jordan Marley. Owe Masood. Rebecca Enid McGrath. Kate Naven. Victoria Petrova. Liam Price. Matthew Roberts. Chloe Rowland. Elia Saba. Thomas Schofield. Rebecca Sims. James Sumner. Phoebe Tucker. Harriet Wallace. Jessica Ann Watts. Alice Olivia Ragg. Laura Wright. Anissa Zaman. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Music, Creative Music Technology, George Carter Antar. Michael Burnett. Noah Edwards. Christian Ellery. Diamond Ford. Matthew Fortunati. Edward Gallio. Daniel Haney. Philip David Hindle. Cameron Issa. Samuel Kennedy. Thomas Miles. Brinley Colin Palmer. Morgan Palmer. Joseph Parker. Anthony Joseph Platt. Julia Rose Rangel. Bobby Rushton. Peter Taylor. Zach Taylor Frey. Vincent Waite. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Music, Musical Arts, James William Atkins. Amanda Ellen Sylvia Butterworth. Abby Clifford. Suzanne Elizabeth Hill. Harry James Lilly. Patrick James Marshall. Kieran Martin. Ben Robinson. Luke Rongong. Thomas Peter Rose. Jessica Wilson. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Music, Popular Music and Recording, Abraham Banjo. James Barry. Thomas Joshua Bithell. Romans Bogakins. William Byers. Joe Calino. Chris Davis. Louis Donnelly. Adam Eccleston. John Gellison. Luke Haynes. Kieran Hewell. Scott Hill. Holly Hockaday. Andrew John Holmes. Hannah Louise James. Daniel James Kelly. Joseph Knowles. Oscar Javier Ladverte Moreno. Ryan Martin. Sean McGill. William Mackenzie. Liam Montgomery. George Morrison. Martin David Mullineaux. Andrew Odion. Hannah Perry. Bethany Platt. Imogen Bria Robbins. Naomi Sinclair Grant. Max Smith. Jack Sullivan. James Walsh. Maisie Wasdell. Lauren Amy Westwood. Oliver Whittle. Sydney Elizabeth Williams. Thomas George Wynne. Navid Yazrebi. Jack Stephen York. Bachelor of Arts with Honours Photography, Heather Bell. Jessica Nicole Bell. India Rose Booth. Chloe Brady. Laura Brookfield. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Laura Brookfield. Emily Louise Bryant. Georgia Carabine. Michael Clark. Hannah Jade Cleary. Alexia Jade Croft. Emma Louise Dodd. Sean Doyle. Troy Curtis Harvey. Jack Hawkswell. Emily Horton. Caleb Elijah Kane. Bridget Kudikate. Abigail Jennifer Laidlaw. Kelvin Miles Leeming. Eleanor Lloyd. Helena Lown. Katrina McKinley. Katie Murphy. Daniel Sargent. Caitlin Stoves. Eleanor Claire Sumner. Amber Sunderland. Charlotte Bethan Mary Tattersall. Samuel Thompson. Lydia Thorley. Poppy Lee Welsh. Natalie Ellen Whittaker. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Politics, Jack Lister. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Television and Radio, Charlotte India Adams. Alicia Ajawa Akamoa Burko. David Alexander. Eleanor Alpar. Jordan Anderson. Aisha Lauren Langdon Barker. Katie Rose Barnes. Liliana Bruin. Molly Primrose Broomhead. Rhiannon Georgia Brown. Matthew Burnham. Sam Burton. Lewis George Robert Campbell Thompson. Christopher Chatterton. Marcus Chun-Lin Chan. Chieng Sing Hui. Dylan Connolly. Sophie Cooper. Joshua Crane. Elliot Davis. Grace Davis. Sophie Davis. Oliver Joseph Thomas Dennett. Demi Dawn Duncan. Lucy Farrell. Hannah May Graham. Anika Guru. Elizabeth Halliwell. Robert Hanson. Chloe Amber Harrison. Alexander Hawkey. Megan Hayward. George Hazel. Sarah Heritage. Benjamin Andrew Hill. Thomas Hinckley. Jack Holland. Abigail Housley. Alex Edward Hughes. Samuel Humber. Brittany Jerrison. Kaylon Jones. Molly Jessica Rosa Jones. Joanna Keeney. Caroline Kessler. Georgie Kidd. Anna Joy King. Oliver Knight. Sean David Langan. James Lewis. Philippa Grace Lloyd. Benjamin Massey. James McDonnell. Gina Margaret Montgomery. Lydia Morton. Kelsey Mowat. Cara Jane Myers. Jason Neal. Abigail Newton. Emma Norton. Molly Marie O'Donnell. Kizzy Ormerod. Deborah Jawuba Owusu Amoa. Dylan Patel. Emma Louise Pitchforth. Brooke Ramsey. Georgia Ranwell. Harris Redgrove. Lewis Reeves. Callum Riley. Harry James Truman Robinson. Georgina Round. Hannah Julia Sachs. Lydia Sanlon. Emily Elizabeth Shaw. Michael Andrew James Sheridan. Katie Smith. Chloe May Smythe. Alicia Stevens. Henry Stoko. Catherine Lee Strangeway. Nathan James Sykes. Ben Taylor. Thomas Taylor. Henry Thompson. Courtney Town. Laura Louise Sophie Underwood. Emily Laura Vale. Charlotte Walsh. James Whittaker. Charlotte Wild. Cameron Williams. Kezia Wilson. Samantha Lee Wilson. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Theatre and Performance Practice, Jake Allen Corley. Alexander Anderson. Kay Atkin. Laura Ann Banks. Shannon Barber. Emma Biseka. Emma Bourne. James Bradley. Jack Chapman. George Crompton. Tyler Dixon. Jay Dolling. Daniel Durrant. Daniel Edwards. Gabriela Enrico. Hannah Finnan. Rosa Daniela Graham. Ethan Haynes. Bethany Hazel. George Anthony Jarvis. Chloe Alex Polly Jeans. Amelia May Karimi. Adam Kelly. Ryan Long. Georgina Marsh. Georgina Charlotte McClintock. Serena McGill. Wesley John McGillan. Sophie Milne. Daisy Moore. Daisy Moston. Ellie Murphy. Georgia Nicholson. Alex Smith. Jessica Streak. Megan Sykes. Chelsea Taylor. Bryn Walker. Faith Whitehead. Jessica Wilson. Bachelor of Science with Honours, Media Technology, Matthew Aitken. Thomas Paul Braithwaite. Rebecca Louise Bray. Jamie Hayden Critchlow. Adam Hanif. Jubin Monsef. James Moran. Thomas Neild. Daniel Riches. Helen Francis Roberts. Panache Savanhu. Benjamin Andrew Somerville. George Turner. Bachelor of Science with Honours, Professional Broadcast Techniques, Connor Sasha Bush. Julia Ejerd. Olivia Marie Fern. Alexandra Fitton. Catherine Ann Freeman. Gavin Jackson. Rebecca Anita Jackson. Tobias Joyner. Shola McCarthy. Jamila Moylan. Jack Lee Pym. Rebecca Rakestraw. Khadija Shadzad. Bachelor of Arts, Journalism Broadcast, Jonathan Drinkhill. Foundation Degree Arts, Media Production, Jack Clark. Joshua James David Fleming. Lucy Manitam. Matthew Stenson. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Television and Radio, Marlon Camacho.
Graduates and distinguished guests, that concludes the presentation of the awards from the School of Arts and Media. You're not done clapping. Before I invite the Chancellor to close the ceremony, I would like to inform you that we'll be taking a group photograph of all the new graduates outside the theatre on the piazza. Therefore, can I ask all guests to remain seated until all the graduates have left the theatre. Graduates, can you please follow the academic procession when it leaves, not before, straight out of the theatre to the piazza for photographs. Thank you. My great pleasure. I would like now to invite the Chancellor, Professor Jackie Kay, to close the ceremony.
Thank you very much. Wow, it's all go here, isn't it? It's all go. Just sit down in your wee chair for a minute and then you're up again. It's been a huge pleasure to be, and a privilege to be at today's marathon, mega, amazing ceremony, and to watch each one of you cross the stage in your very different ways, in your amazing outfits and amazing suits. It's been just fantastic, hasn't it? Just a non-stop fashion show. And there were a lot of guys in checked suits, but alas, no man in a kilt, so I'm safe for now. I'd like to say a massive congratulations to every single one of you who's graduated today. I think you should all give yourselves a massive round of applause. And for your families, it's just so fantastic. It's wonderful to hear all these roars, sometimes roars from families, you know, almost like animal roars. Roar! Fantastic. It makes me think that pride is one of the most interesting of human emotions. You know, real pride is a good thing, and we often forget just what a good emotion pride is. And it reminded me of being a mum myself and seeing my son graduate and being one of you out there in the audience, you know, in the audience shouting for him. And he's now 30. Tell me I don't look old enough. And 6'2". When he was 12, he said, "Mum, if I stand at my full height and give you a hug, I feel like I'm consoling a small child." think I got to be taller than about 3 people today. That's okay. But he's now 30 and has just made a documentary called Little Miss Sumo that's about to be on Netflix. Yes. So I went to a screening of this documentary in London, and some of his old teachers were there, and one of them said to me, "You must be a very proud mum." And I said, "Proud? I'm so proud I could levitate." My son said to me, "Mum, why do you say things like that?" Because parents are always embarrassing. But anyway, it's really, really wonderful, that feeling of pride. And all of you in this room today will be feeling, whether you're the sons and the daughters of the people that have graduated, or the mums and the fathers of the people that have graduated, or the friends, you'll be feeling that feeling of enormous pride. And it's a lovely, wonderful feeling. I hope it stays glowing and shimmering with you for the rest of the day. And I hope you raise a drink, if drink's your thing, to celebrate. And if going on the run's your thing, to celebrate, to go on a run. I used to be, can you believe it, a Scottish schoolgirl championship runner. Yes, I know. Before I had a bad accident, a motorbike accident, and had a compound fracture. And then it was a year and a half before I walked again. I hit 3 different cars altogether, and the first car was an English teacher at my school. Yes, I flew right over the 3rd car and landed outside the graveyard in Kirkintilloch Road. My mum said, "We could have just thrown you over the wall." But if it hadn't been for that accident, I wouldn't have probably been a writer, because it gave me a year and a half to be laid up and write and read and read and write. And sometimes when life throws you curved balls, sometimes the surprising things can come out of them. So my advice to today is look forward to your future, and even when things seem like they're disappointments initially, or even tragedies or traumas initially, there might be something that turns things around in some kind of unexpected and special way for you. That's what I hope for all of you. Before I ask the graduates to stand, now graduates, yay! Get used to saying it. It's real and it's true. And it's funny, the hardest thing you'll ever do as a graduate is walk across that stage. So that's done now. So you're all fine. You're free of that. The nerves of walking across the stage, it's gone. And now you're just going to walk out into your future life and embrace the future. Grab it with both hands. Dare to be different. Take your opportunities. Be bold in your aspirations and enjoy life. And a little bit of kindness goes a long, long way. So remember always to be as kind as you can to everybody around you. Congratulations again, everybody. And now, just before I ask the graduates to stand and put on their hats, a cautionary tale. When I became Chancellor, for my first year of being Chancellor, we did this group photograph that we're all just about to do. And the graduates were asked to throw their hats. And somebody threw their hat very enthusiastically, and it hit my head and felled me to the ground. I mean, what a silly death that would have been. You know, a mortal wound by a mortarboard. It would have made a good headline, right? In the Granada News. Sorry, you shouldn't laugh at your own jokes, it's terrible. So before we do that, when we have the group photograph, I'd ask you all not to throw your hats too enthusiastically. Anyway, wonderful. It's been a fantastic day. I would like to thank very, very much the staff at the Lowry who are here in the red. Can you give them a massive round of applause? I would like to thank the band behind us that have been playing a new piece for us today. Give them a massive round. I would like to thank our fantastic events team of Joanne, Lisa, Barbara and Emily that put together these ceremonies and do such a lot of wonderful work making it all run so smoothly. Give them a massive round of applause. I would like to thank all of you very, very much for coming and for enjoying the day and enjoying the ceremony. Did you all enjoy it? Well, hey, yay, fantastic. It gets almost surreal, doesn't it? And it was fantastic, absolutely wonderful. Anyway, could I please say, graduates, can you now stand and put on your hats? Hey. And could I ask everybody else now to stand as well? Thank you very, very much for coming. Congratulations again, everybody. It gives me great pleasure to now declare this ceremony closed.